Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is episode 13 of Know Your Author series, and today we have with us Dr. Zainab Ansari. She's an Indian born and brought up in Oman. She's a professor. She loves writing poetry. She's a poetess, she's a writer, she's a podcaster, and let's find out more from Zainab herself. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we have with us Dr. Zainab Ansari. She's an Indian born and brought up in Oman. She's a professor who loves to teach English poetry. She's a poetess, she's a writer, and she's also a podcaster. She's author of Queen of Unbroken and co-author of 35 anthologies. She has a lot of projects which she is currently working on. She's an affiliate for Poet Possibilities, quotes on minimalistquotes.com. She also does live IG poetry on her Instagram account, and she's also a weekly prompt host. And she also has a cat which is called Moisa. Thank you, Zainab, for coming. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So how is your day going? Tell us about yourself. How does your day look like in this pandemic?
Okay, well, I'm the only child, and I stay with my parents, and I'm a professor. So my day starts with a lot of scheduling a day before for the classes, because this pandemic has brought about a lot of changes. I used to go to the institute and teach, because the place that I teach is affiliated with Indian universities. So it was a distance program where I was teaching. Now the thing has stopped because physical classes is not possible. We have online classes, and it's very difficult to accommodate with everyone's schedule. They have their own lives, their children, some of them are married, grandparents. So we have a wide variety of age, because I'm teaching graduation and post-graduation students.
Okay.
So a day before I'd start with the schedule, that which class, which students is going to have what books, what are we going to do. So mostly we have English subjects, like for graduation, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor of Tourism, foundation papers, as well as main subjects like poetry, drama, communication. And then for the master's students, we have the specialization programs. So I make a schedule, and my day would start with getting ready, breakfast, taking care of my cat. She loves to wake me up. I don't need an alarm for that. So my day would start that way. And then I'd proceed with different classes. At times I cook, because I love to cook, but that habit has changed because of the schedule. I give classes for IELTS also. So IELTS coaching is also going on. My classes vary from maybe morning like 10, 9, 8 till 10 in the night. Different timings, different schedules according to the flexibility of students. So that's sort of my day. And after I finished all my classes, in between having my lunch, dinner, and prayers, I make sure I go out and relax and go for walking. That's something I make sure. Health is wealth.
That's mashallah, really great. I also love walking, but not every day. I mean, sometimes in winter, it's not possible here. In Belgium, it's too cold to go out and walk. But in summers, yeah, I do make sure that I walk every day.
Yeah, we have only one weather, and that's summer. It's right now, it's going to be plus 50 plus. And even if we have winters that they call February, January, it's like a mild, pleasant sort of springish winter.
Yeah, it's like the weather in, summer weather in Belgium, maybe, which is still a bit chilly. So how was your childhood, Zainab?
My childhood was quite different, because I'm the only one. So I was very shy, and as to not mingle with others. I do have cousins out here from my father's side. So whenever they used to come, I used to play and play and play. I used to play so much that I used to get sick.
Oh
because
my
there was
God.
no one to talk to, no one to play with. And I had this habit of talking to myself in front of the mirror. I did
I
have.
think most of the kids do it. I also did it. Yeah.
I was a chatterbox. So basically, I was a chatterbox at home. And when I was very small, because my mom was a teacher. And I'm a third generation in this teaching line. My mother's mother was a teacher. My mother was a teacher. My mother's sister aunt was a teacher. So we have this line over here.
Your family of
So
education and educators.
yeah. So she used to put lipstick on my lips and she used to make me sit down, like, quiet, don't make sound. I has to be very quiet, very shy in this case that my lipstick would come out. But most of my time I would spend on my own.
Yeah, I think I can relate to it because until my brother came, I was also alone. And I was playing alone. I used to tie saris with my mother's, scarves and dupattas. And I used to pretend that I'm the teacher. And I used to go and teach the plants. They were my students.
I was more into being a doctor in the sense
Okay.
I would, yeah, because my father's father, grandfather, he was a doctor, a proper doctor. And I used to be like, okay, I'm going to give medicine to you. I used to play with my mom. I'm going to check you up and I'm going to give free medicine. And I am still, and I wasn't a doll person. I used to never like dolls. Girls usually have the tendency.
Yeah.
I was far away from that.
And what's your favorite book?
Well, I don't want to be sounding vain, but this is my favorite book. This is my book. It's called as Sultana, Queen of the Unbroken. And to me, the reason it's my favorite book because I had taken me a lot of time to get this book out. So I consider this as all-time favorite. But if you ask me what I read, I'm more of a different age groups has made me read different things. When I was younger, I'll share a secret that I was in class 3 and 4 because we belong to Asian community. We don't speak English at home. Okay. And my English used to vary a lot. So my class teacher in class 3, he suggested, why don't you give books and she'd start reading and improve her English. And I used to read small Hardy Boys and I used to have Archie. Whatever I could get hands on, I'd started reading. Then I started with the detective stories. Then after mid of my teenage years, I started with Chicken Soup and soul reading, romantic novels. And as I grew a bit older, I had this variation between adventure and thriller. So that depended. But today, if I say my favorite book is the one that I've written. So I have a wide variety.
Tell us more about your book. Is it a fiction or it's a collection of poetry? What is it about?
It's about different poems that I have written. Well, I'd always wanted to be a writer and I've always wanted to read out my words in front of people. So I had 2 or 3 manuscripts before and I've written and I've deleted it. It never resonated with me. I never felt that, it's enough that I could put it out into the world. I procrastinated a lot. And last year, I just had this, I was just going through IG and I found this counselor who used to, her words, her name is Dr. Ayat Makki. And her words seemed to find a place that, I should take charge of my dreams. This pandemic just showed me that, time is very precious. I cannot procrastinate anymore. And I sat down and I wrote my words. They are poems which I have gone through a difficult phase because as you're the only child and you have a lot of things, sometimes you can never share with others, depression, anxiety, a lot of sacrifices and things. So these poems are heartfelt emotions that I've put out to the world. So yes.
Sounds really interesting. And a lot of authors that I interviewed, they also, like, this pandemic was like the trigger for them to write as well. So they wrote their book last year. Some of them published it last year only, and some of them published it in the beginning of this year,
Yeah, I actually wrote it last year and I got it published also last year in November. And I'll tell you what, Sana, the most difficult, at times, some countries have advantage to things, some of them have a negative point. I could not get my book printed here because I had to go through a lot of rules and regulations. They check your book, if the content is suitable for the community. So it was a great hassle. That is why I started off with co-authored. My journey in writing to the world started as co-authorship. But on my own, I started writing when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
So yeah, in 2019, I found these two ladies who had a publishing house in Bangalore in India, and they go by the name of Paper, Pen, and Poetry on Instagram. So I started my book, my authorship, co-authorship, and I approached them that I want my book to be published. And they said, we'll help you out. So I wrote my manuscript, I edited it, I sent it to them, and we had a discussion that what is the cover, how do you want it, what are your dreams, what do you want, what's your vision? And they were very cooperative enough. And I was very emotional when my book came out. So that was the journey.
No, it's really interesting to know always, the journey behind the book. It's never easy, actually.
It is not easy.
No, it's not
It's
easy.
like you are putting out your emotions, your raw emotions towards the world. When I started writing on Instagram, that was, I think, maybe in 2015 or 2016, people used to tell me that you write to gain sympathy. And with time, my writings have changed. My page, my words have changed. Each milestone, each year has brought something that made me change and transform. And today, what I write is basically for women. Mostly, I target my words for women because I feel we are very strong, but most of them are unable to voice out
Yes,
their words.
yeah, true.
Yes.
And then through the poetry, you can empower also, you feel sometimes you read something very strong and you forget all your pain and problems and you get new energy to fight,
Yes.
everyday struggle. So what was your fun time, when you get some time, what do you do with it except writing?
Okay. When I get a fun time, me time, I make sure I make me time because I've realized if I don't love myself, I don't take care of myself, nobody will take care of me.
That's true.
So I make sure I play with my cat. She's the toy in my house, but
She's
I'm
your
her
stress
toy.
buster.
Yes. So I have a lot of things. We have like small balls, paper, ribbons, and we enjoy playing. Or I love to go out to the beach. That's my therapy. I just like to go, take a cup of coffee, tea, some juice, fresh juice, sit in front of the water and let my mind relax. But because of the lockdown and everything, we are unable to go to the beach. So yes, I have Moiza, who is my stress releaser.
So what was the turning point in your life? I mean, we discussed a lot already, that last year with the pandemic, and you have been writing since 6 year old. But what do you think, like the turning point was there in the life, where you thought that, okay, I will not go back from this direction?
9 episodes, episodes in my life, you meet different people who come across as your well-wishers, and then you come across people who take advantage of you. And I've always told, I don't want to sound, like I'm making myself a good person, but I'm kind-hearted. And I've realized that your goodness is your downfall at times. And that has been my turning point where I've seen on and on, I've been taking advantage of my kindness. So that made me realize that I have to set boundaries, and that was the turning point. And every year, every person I meet, somehow they bring out something. I have had people who say, you're very kind. I say, it's what you give me is what I will return it to you. If you're going to be bad to me, I'm going to multiply and give it back to you. It's human nature. It's tendency. So
Yeah.
these things are the turning points. And I feel every day I somehow change a bit, every situation with your loved ones, with your strangers. And I have this thing, you meet people who you have no connection with, and they appreciate and they find something in you you never realize your value. And the ones that you have been staying with or you have known for life, and you realize they don't have your value. It's a general human, this one. So
Yeah.
that's my transformation.
No, it's very like revelatory also, like you talked about the boundaries. They are so complexly structured, you will keep on working on your boundaries all your life, keep setting them, keep adjusting them, keep breaking them. But it's a work in progress always, those boundaries.
Yeah.
But you need boundaries. That's the first thing that you realize, that you need boundaries. We all need those boundaries. And, it's a way to guard yourself. Like you said, you are a kind-hearted person, but you don't want to change from a kind-hearted person to someone else, and then you need your boundaries, that you check the person that, okay, that's the limit, don't come after that.
Yeah. I have this thing that
and
I've
somehow
done.
I see like the people around you, they necessarily don't share your interest.
Yeah, it happens. It happens
Happens. And
because
also sometimes they feel, why are you doing what you're doing, because they're not doing what you're doing.
yeah, only very few people understand you. It's a worldwide thing. And I've
Sometimes
found,
a
because
stranger may understand you better than somebody who has known you all your life, because he's not judging you, that stranger, he sees very clearly for what you are, for what gifts you are being gifted, what capabilities you have. But the people, who are around you, who know you, they're tinted with so many complexes and thoughts in their mind. So that's, I understand it.
Okay, I'll share you one thing that till last year, end of last year, I used to never be very physical, in the sense I never showed myself on IG where I used to write. I was very shy. I was very judgmental of my own self. What are people going to say? But then I said, no, they should know me as not just a writer, as a person. And I've always had this dream of having a cafe and reading out this open mic session. And when I'm a weekly host and live IG reader for writers around the world, it's a community page as well. I do it on my page. So what happens is, it gave me a chance. It gave me a chance to live my dream, make it work. This pandemic has brought out so many heartfelt, pain for people. But for me, it might have brought out something negative, but it has brought out a lot of plus for me. I've gotten my doctorate degree. I'm a doctor of education. It has gotten me my book. It has made me read out to the people. This is something that I love to do. Every Sunday, I'd love to read out from the Writers Around the World page. That's my ritual. So I'm living the dream that I've always wanted to do, being a teacher and all this thing. And
I'm really happy to know that, that you're able to come out of your doubts and go get it, that, okay, this is what I want to do. And this is, I'm here and I'm doing it. I like to hear those happy success stories.
And I've always had this thing that I have a journal. I have a lot of journals. Some are for poetry, some are for my boundary setting for myself, for self-therapy. I've done this for quite some ages, some time, some years. I write down whenever I struggle with, and I write down my pieces, my words, look at it. If it's negative, I just tear the paper off and throw it. It's like I'm getting it out of my system onto the paper and then just getting it done with. That's my therapy.
No, but I think taking it out of the system is the important thing. What you do with it later doesn't matter. You keep it or it's up to you. But to take out from the system is so important.
Yes, it is.
And do you want to read something for us from your book?
Definitely. I would love to read out. So this is what the book looks like.
Actually, the connection is not that great. So the book is, I see it not clearly.
Yeah, I would. I'd send you a copy, the page, this
Okay.
one, so you'll have it.
Okay.
Um, it's called as Roses. She held the coffee mug in between her hands, the palms getting scalded due to its hotness. Deep in her thoughts of unsent letters that she had thrown in the flames, smoky ash embers, burning away you, me, and us, into a perfect abandonment of flawed, reckless moments of thorny roses that brought about the dawn upon my heart, which had faded galaxies now against once sinister, shiny, bright light.
No, it's really pretty. It's really beautiful. I will
Thank you.
get a look at your book. And which
Definitely,
site
it's
is it available? It's
available.
on Amazon.
Yeah, on different platforms on Amazon, it's available. That's the only platform that's available on.
Okay.
Or people can directly contact me and I could send them a copy.
Okay. That's great. And do you have a message for your viewers, readers who will see this?
I just want, in all my these 35 years of life, I've learned a lot of lessons. I just want one thing for everyone to understand, that there's no one like you. Don't kill yourself for others. I'm not saying don't be nice, don't be kind, helpful, be compassionate, but don't let your self respect or your peace, your mental peace be killed. You will never be able to get out of it. You have to take care of yourself. I've learned with a lot of lessons. Be compassionate towards yourself and never criticize yourself this much. Evaluate yourself, but never criticize. There's a saying that I read somewhere that you have a warrior inside you, and when you condemn yourself, you back question yourself, you do negative talks, that warrior dies off. So instead, just go out and conquer the world. Never stop, never be, people are going to bring you down. I don't want that to happen. Just step forward. See, maybe some things are acceptable to society, maybe they're not. Do what you think is right for your soul, but do keep in mind that we have to live in a society, so it should never, like change that, the rules or regulations, but find your peace. That's more important. Never stop for validation from others.
Oh, I love this. Thank you so much. Sometimes you need to hear it from the other person. So always keep putting out that message to the world. That's my motto and the mantra also. And sometimes you go back and listen to your own messages, because not your motivation is not always same.
Yes, that's true.
So thank you so much, Zainab. I really, really enjoyed our conversation. And I'm looking forward to many more in the future, to do more lives
Thank
and
you
things.
so
But
much
I'm
for
taking more
having me.
slowly and wish you great success with your book. And I hope it's one of the many that you will write.
Definitely. I'll tell you one thing. The day that I received a message from you that you want to do an interview with me, I was going through a difficult phase that day. Something had triggered and I was in that deep abyss. And out of nowhere, your message came in. It just showed me that every dark situation brings out a light. So you
Yeah,
was
like somebody is noticing your work, and people are appreciating it. So just keep going and keep writing that beautiful poetry. Mashallah, you are writing
thank
so
you
well
so
and you're
much.
hosting it and doing so many things. So I wish you great success.